over the last couple of years, this challenge seems to grow. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit that own Volvo Penta later model Sterndrives. What we're talking about here are the later model ones that have catalytic converters on them. They do have catalytic converters now, which is great. Carbon monoxide is gone. You'll see these manifolds here, one on each side. There's a couple of sensors, one here, one back there. Those are O2 sensors. What they're doing is they're measuring the amount of contaminants before and after the catalytic converter to make sure they're working well. Now for these sensors to work properly, they actually have to build up some heat. The wires that go to them physically heat them as well as the exhaust. You can even see the discoloration if you look carefully on the O2 sensors. So how does this relate to what I'm telling you? Well, the problem that we've had is we're showing codes. Some people would call them a ghost code. They show up inadvertently, they come and they go, and as the problem has continued to get worse, we started looking into them. So by pulling up data and looking at the actual information that the two O2 sensors are sending, we're seeing there's a discrepancy in temperatures between the two. So what causes that is the water flow that's from the lake that goes through the engine dumps through these exhaust manifolds. I'm sure most of you might know that the engine itself has antifreeze in it, just like your car. But what cools that is this component right here. It's called a heat exchanger. So the lake water comes in the heat exchanger, transfers the heat off the engine coolant, and takes it out and dumps it back in the lake. So what happens is, if you're idling for a little bit or off idle just a little bit above, if you don't get the correct amount of water flow, because this water pump's not turning real fast, we'll see a temperature differentiation between these two sensors. And it throws a code. But we check it and everything's pumping all right. So we decided to start checking into this a little deeper. So on this heat exchanger, we pull off the hoses on the bottom. We put a camera in there and we can actually look and see if there's any grass in there. Turns out a lot of the grass here locally is pretty long and pretty stringy. So rather than passing through this heat exchanger and going overboard, it's hanging up in the heat exchanger, both at the bottom and the top. What this does is we don't get the water flow that we should, which is enough to trigger that code. Now, having water flow diminished because of this eventually could cause an overheat, and then that overheat would cause your coolant that's in your engine to evacuate and then end up in the bilge. Could even possibly cause engine damage. So what we started doing, you'll see this on your winter recommendation work that we're going to do, is we're checking these. We're looking into that, pulling that hose off, looking at these heat exchangers, and you should have them cleaned, and that's what we're telling you. This is something new. We didn't really look for this in the past as a maintenance item, but we had one engine that actually had some pretty severe damage related to this, so we started checking them all. To date right now, we have not found one that doesn't have grass in it. So just wanted you to have a better explanation of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So if you see that recommended charge on that winter sheet, please check the box.